What's going on, everybody? ChumpChangeXD here. Hopefully you're all staying healthy and having a great day. In this video, I want to get the RebTech board hanging up there with all those GPUs installed on it because I can't keep them down. And as you guys just saw, we just rebuilt this 3060 rig to mine solely Ergo on a Riserless motherboard. So let's get to it. So my plans for this, obviously, this can hold 8 GPUs. As you guys know, this is a RebTech motherboard with one of our Misfit Mining RebTech hangers. I'm going to be throwing that on the top shelf along with 8 GPUs. So I'm going to use the AMDs, which is this one and that one, the two 6600 XTs. Then I have my 3060 Ti Aorus card. I'm going to put the wife's 3070 on there. I don't think I'm going to put the 3080 Ti on there. I'm going to do the Hollow, and I don't think I'm going to put this one on there either. But I am going to put the 3060 Ti XC that we got from Red Panda Mining. That's going to get thrown on there. What I'm going to do with the 3080s, since I have a regular for the Win 3 3080 LHR, I have a 3080 Ti. Obviously that's an LHR, and I have an original 3080 for the Win 3 non-LHR. I think I'm going to take all 3 of those back to the studio, and I think I'm going to do a hash rate comparison on all 3 of them just to see how they compare against each other. In this 3070 right here, I'm going to take this one and throw it up on the RebTech board as well, so that will be hanging up with the rest of them. So yeah, let's get to it. I guess what we'll do is start by hanging the RebTech board. Probably, you know what? I guess I could stick it like right here in the middle because it's not going to harm anybody being right there. And that way it's kind of out of the way of the airflow because that's not going to get too hot. The GPUs are obviously what we're trying to keep cool with all that nonsense. So now, next step, I need to put hangers like this one right here on all of the cards. I actually need to take this one off because this is one of the original ones and it's way more flimsy than the newer ones. So I have a box of messed up ones that are, you know, basically curled in the sides or something's wrong with them. So I ended up taking the box of these here. I'm gonna throw as many as I can on the cards. Got my good old chump change ones that had a little elephant footing right there. So yeah, let's get those on these cards, and you guys will see that done in just a second. All right, I think I'm gonna vote against putting this hybrid on here. That is also a 3080. So why not take it back with those 3 and we'll throw them all in the same rig and we'll hash rate test them all together. What I'm going to do now is I want to hang all these cards, get them up here, and then I'll show you guys what I'm going to power them with. Alright, so I got the cards all hanging. RebTech board is all connected to the USBs. It's not powered up yet, obviously. So what we're going to do is use a server PSU. Same thing, because you don't need the ZSX board for the RebTech, which is nice. So as you can see, the fans on this unit are a little more durable than the normal. It's like a double fan versus a single, because this is a 1500 watt, not a normal 1200 watt. And we have a breakout board that reads the current and the voltage. So that's pretty neat. Let's get this thing hooked up and let's get this RebTech turned on. All right, as you can see, it is now daylight. So we're back here day 2 with this RebTech board and also with this 8-card Ergo rig. As you can see right here, all the cards are registering. It starts hashing and then all of a sudden, boom, it just freezes. It's been doing this since we got it up and running, actually. So last night when we built this rig, I had to shut it down. It just kept freezing, so there was no point of keeping it running all night. So right now what I'm going to do, these cards are still pumping out heat, which is crazy. But what I'm gonna do is take these two cards off and see if those 6 right there will hash, because I know that those 6 worked and those are the only 2 new cards that we have. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna put them back on, and then we're gonna try to swap out the USB right here with a brand new MSata. I am right now in the process of starting to flash. So again, first point of attack, let's shut this off. All right, we're gonna remove these 2 cards. Like I said, all I have to do is unplug the power here and here. We're just gonna sling the power cable over there for now. Just let it hang, because it doesn't really matter. And these cards, nice thing about this motherboard is they literally just pop off. There is no, nothing holding them on to the board like the risers have those clips on the backside. We don't have that. So, all right, now the 2 cards are off. As you can see, let's start it back up. Fingers crossed that it's those cards giving me the issue. Let's see what happens. All right, it just starts up. You can see the Ethernet cable blinking. HIVEOS is registering. That's what makes me think it's not the USB, because it fires right up every time. So it's either this weird motherboard that I got on Amazon. When I got it, it was pretty cheap, probably 120 bucks or so. It came with the CPU. The only thing I had to do was buy the RAM for it. And then that's it, complete riserless motherboard. So like it eliminates me buying risers, you know, say, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks a pop. Eliminates the CPU, that's huge. So it seemed like a good deal, but if this thing isn't gonna work, if something's wrong with the motherboard or something's wrong with the CPU or even the RAM slot, I don't know, something's going on that's making it freeze and I need to figure it out. So everything seems okay. It's registering 6 GPUs, so that's good. Seems like a simple solution, but my life is never that simple. So let's get into HIVEOS and see what she looks like. All right, so good news with these cards plugged in and those 2 removed. We're posting. The rig hasn't crashed and it hasn't shut down. We just removed the clocks that are, you know, right here in the settings for all the 3060s, because for some reason with the brand new updated HIVEOS, we can't get over 60 mega hash, or 65 rather. And these things were pulling, I believe, 115 a piece. So we just removed the clocks. We want to see if this actually holds. So the cards would start up at 115 or 114, and then they would immediately go down to 65. So now without the clocks, it just started up at 97, as you guys can see. So literally 0 clocks in, 97. Let's see if this holds. It's gonna refresh right now. Okay, well that's holding. I'm gonna put the fan at 100. All right, so I just put the fans at 100. Let's give this a minute. I wanna see if 97 holds with 0 clocks. Also, I did reflash that MSata with a brand new HIVEOS, and I copied the rig ID. I think I'm gonna swap it out from that USB anyways, even though it's not the problem, just to make downloading new miners and updating HIVEOS go a lot faster. All right, let's give this a few minutes. All right, so this did hold at 97, but the cards got way too hot because there was no clocks throttling them down. So what I'm gonna do real quick is swap out the flash drive with this MSata. We stopped the miner, we just cooled the cards down, so now this is good to be shut down. Theoretically, this should fire up exactly like it is the USB. At least we hope so. So let's try it again. Hopefully she reads, hopefully there's no issues. But again, the reason I'm doing this is because you can update HIVEOS 10 times faster on an MSata versus a USB, or like drivers or miners or whatever you're trying to update or load. Goes way faster on those versus USB. Yeah, hopefully this works properly. So I think You know what, just give me a second, let me get into HIVEOS to see what's going on. Alright, so we have the new flash drive in. As you guys can see, 97 holding pretty steady with 0 clocks in. Again, we have the new MSata drive in. So now what I'm going to do is try to input the core clock and the memory clock on these cards. First, I'm going to stop the miner. I'm going to put the core clock on 1430 like they were, and the memory clock at 2450 like it was as well. And I'll leave the power limit at 125. I had it at 130, but we'll see how it goes with that. And then we're going to restart the miner. So, issue with these clocks, on the updated driver and all that, for some reason, like I showed you guys previously, it was dumping down to like 65. So I'm hoping now that I just installed a new HIVEOS on the M.2, hopefully everything fires up normally. So we're gonna see, and then what we'll do is we'll throw these two cards in and we will not put any clocks on them and see what happens. If the thing crashes, then we know obviously something's going on with those two combining with the other 6 regular 3060s. So that's a good sign. First one showing 114. That's what they should hold at. They shouldn't be getting there and then dumping right down. And again, we have them getting there and dumping right down. Usually levels out around 65, so got some troubleshooting to do. All right, give me a second. Let me try to figure this out. All right, so I went and referenced the driver that we were using for the previous 3060s, which were on that rig. So now, again, it's still showing 97. We didn't put any clocks in. All right, so we just stopped the miner. Let's put 1430 like I had for the absolute core clock and 2450 for the memory clock. And we had 130 on the power limit previously. We'll save that. I'm gonna restart the miner. And I am hoping that this new driver, or the older driver, makes this thing kick back into high gear at 115 or 114 per GPU. So let's give it a second. Check it out, 114 all the way down with the 460 3.9 driver. So I am super pumped that I just referenced that on the other rig. As you can see, it's all holding, everything's about 60 degrees. So now what we gotta do is take these two cards and slam them back in. One thing I didn't notice about those cards though, they're actually Hynix memory. These ones are Samsung. So I wonder if that's why this rig was crashing to begin with. With the new driver, I guess we'll see. I'm just gonna plug them in, no clocks on those two, and we'll see what happens. So let me get this thing back installed and refire it up. Let me stop the miner and shut it down, and we'll go from there. All right, so real quick, as you guys can see, I have a 3060 Ti, the Hynix memory ones that I was trying to put in down here, on the RebTech board to see if it registered. Reason I can't get them to work on this board now is because the driver that is running these at 114 to 115 mega hash will not work on the Ti cards. I moved this 3070 amp hollow down here on purpose because I wanted to test out that theory to see if that was it, and the same error message came up on the screen. Will not work. So it's the driver. So what I need to do is basically take two older cards from up here, which will probably end up being like the Oris and probably my 3070 for the Win 3, or it could be the wife's card, and putting them down there, and then it'll work because those cards work on the older drivers. So I'm gonna play a little mix match, get these things both up and running, and then we're gonna call it a day. All right, so we finally got this thing up and hashing with Ergo. What we had to do was put an older GPU, that's the wife's 3070, alongside these 3060s to run on the old driver so they would all hash. Because all the newer cards, these 3060 Ti's, would not work with that driver. So now we have the RebTech up and running with all those brand new cards. We have the Ergo rig up and running on the older driver. And yeah, I think we're good to go. So as always, I appreciate you guys for watching. Please stay safe, and I'll see you guys real soon.